How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store is running a ton of sales right now, and the games under $15 sale is quite a banger. There's a lot of good stuff there, so wanted to highlight some of the best deals under $5. We're probably going to do more stuff, under 10 and overall deals, so we'll get to that when we get to it, but let's get right into it, and let's kick things off with Metal Gear Solid 5, the definitive experience. This honestly might be the best value pickup available in any of the sales right now. $4 for this is really good. Now, I know MGS5 had its fair share of controversy when it came out, but we're like 7 years removed from the original release of the game, so at this point, I think we can just assess the game for what it is, and it's a pretty good open-world action-adventure stealth game, and MGS5 was one of those games where I felt like, taking Metal Gear and putting it in an open world while retaining similar gameplay aspects to what Metal Gear is known for, thought it actually enhanced the overall experience to the game, and obviously with this, you got a lot of content. You got MGS5, you got Ground Zeroes, you got a bunch of DLC. Again, from a value standpoint, just a really solid pickup, and would give it a strong recommendation. Good soundtrack to it as well, and even narratively, like, I know it's not maybe at the level of an MGS3 or an MGS4, but if you do take the time, listen to the cassette tapes and whatnot, there's a pretty strong story in here as well, but obviously a little bit different than the existing Metal Gear games, but still worthwhile for $4. Think it's a good pickup. Next up, we have Rayman Legends, 75% off for $4.99. Maybe one day I can recommend Rayman Legends enough to the point where a lot of people pick it up and we can will a new Rayman game from Ubisoft, at least in the traditional sense. But nonetheless, if you want a colorful and enjoyable platformer with a decent bit of content to it as well, Rayman Legends is an excellent pickup. It's got a lot of the levels from Origins as well. But, yeah, great art style here, really accessible to anyone, but, even if you're, maybe not the biggest fan of platformers, I would say give this one a shot. I think, a lot of you guys would probably end up really enjoying it, and I love, like, the Rayman Origins and Legends art style. I just think the game looks great, and if you're a fan of platformers, again, it'll be right up your alley, especially at this price point. Next up, we have Yakuza 0, 75% off for $4.99, a franchise that seemingly over here in the West has been getting more and more popular as the years have gone on, obviously. Thanks in part due to all of the games being over here stateside and the games now releasing pretty quickly, or even concurrently with the Japanese releases. Yakuza 0 is a great entry point for the franchise. It is a prequel to Yakuza Kiwami, but you can start off with Yakuza 0 and still have a great time. It's just that, if you're getting into Yakuza and you're planning on playing every single game, yeah, that's a big, big undertaking. Maybe start a smaller scale, just start with Yakuza 0, and then if you enjoy it, work your way up to the other games. But $4.99 for this is a great price, and Yakuza is one of those games that does a really good job of diversifying its, gameplay content. There's comedy, there's emotional moments, there's zany gameplay, there's pretty enjoyable action-oriented gameplay as well. It's just got a lot of depth in what it offers, so $4.99 for this, I think, is a great pickup. Next up, we have Strider, which is 80% off for $2.99. If I recall correctly, when this game initially came out, I want to say back in 2014, I believe it was a PlayStation Plus freebie, and I believe that's how I initially played the game. Nonetheless, it's $3 right now, and if you want a throwback, enjoyable action platformer, Strider will definitely offer you some of that. Has a bit of challenge, but the gameplay was strong. I was not like a big Strider guy growing up. Like, this was a franchise that I didn't have a lot of a nostalgic attachment to or anything like that, but as far as this 2014 release, I quite enjoyed it, so definitely would give that a solid recommendation. Next up, we have Dragon Age Inquisition Deluxe Edition, 75% off for $4.99. Great RPG here. To me, this was one of the first really great games of the PlayStation 4 generation, and yes, while I wouldn't put it on the level of, Dragon Age Origins, Dragon Age Inquisition I still thought was a solid game, and maybe many would consider it to be BioWare's last, really good game release. The narrative is strong, and there's quite a bit of content here as well. Now, bear in mind that this is the Deluxe Edition, not the Game of the Year Edition. The Game of the Year Edition currently isn't on sale, so that's a little bit of a bummer, but hey, $5 for a quality RPG that I think holds up relatively well. I think that's a good pickup. Next up, we have Dragon's Crown Pro, 80% off for $4. Another one of the excellent deals that's available in this sale. Dragon's Crown, of course, done by Vanillaware, which Vanillaware is just a studio that they don't put out, a ton of games, but the games they do put out, I always end up enjoying. Muramasa, the Demon Blade, Odin's Fear, Dragon's Crown, and then, of course, most recently, they put out 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim. But Dragon's Crown itself, solid action RPG with a great art style here as well. I mean, that's what you could always, you know, guarantee out of Vanillaware. Like, slam dunk, the games are usually very, very well designed. And Dragon's Crown for $4, I think, if you want, like, an action RPG, you know, it's going to be one that you're going to enjoy. And if you've played any of the other Vanillaware titles in the past and you enjoy their visual style, their aesthetic style, their soundtracks, Dragon's Crown will definitely fall in line with that as well. Next up, we have Castlevania Requiem, Symphony of the Night, and Rondo of Blood. This is a great value pickup as well. 80% off for $3.99. Now, obviously, these games are super iconic, but they are classic titles. Symphony of the Night came out on the PlayStation 1, considered by many to be one of the best PS1 games of all time, and a lot of people would probably consider it to be the best Castlevania game of all time. I'm not, like, that into Castlevania where I've, like, played all of them and can rank them all, but, I know a lot of people think incredibly highly of Symphony of the Night. And then Rondo of Blood is an interesting one. I believe that came over here in the West with Dracula X Chronicles on the PSP. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's how we were able to play it. And I remember having a pretty good time with Rondo of Blood as well. But Symphony of the Night is obviously a classic, so $4 for this if you want, you know, some throwback Castlevania titles. That's a really good discount. It's a steep discount on that as well. And that's not even like, this ain't that old of a collection. I mean, I believe this collection came out in like 2018, so yeah, you're talking, you know, 3.5 years. But 80% off is pretty steep, so pretty nice to see that as well. Alright, next up, we got Outlast. 90% off for $1.99. Should also mention Outlast 2 is $2.99, so hey, you can pick up both of the games for under $5, which is a pretty remarkable deal. Survival horror fans, you gotta give Outlast 1 a shot. I didn't like Outlast 2 as much as Outlast 1. I don't know if a lot of people agree with me on that, but Outlast 1 was a thrilling horror game, and I'm not, like, super into horror games, but man, when it comes, like, Halloween time, obviously, you gotta give a couple of horror games a playthrough. And I always felt like Outlast was one of the ones that, if you're in the mood for a horror game, or if it's just, you know, October and it's Halloween season and you want to play a horror game, Outlast is a pretty darn trippy one, a pretty psychological one as well. Definitely took the kids away for this one, so bear that in mind. But yeah, $2 for that. Definitely a definite no-brainer. Next up, I do want to shout a couple of the Playdead titles, Inside and Limbo. Limbo, I think everybody and their mother have played. Like, it's been on like a billion different platforms. Inside, on the other hand, I feel like this one doesn't get as much buzz as Limbo, and I honestly probably enjoyed Inside more than Limbo. It's a super dark game as well, another psychological game, has some puzzles and whatnot, but yeah, really enjoyed this one, and I like the art style a lot. I mean, Limbo, you can say the same thing as well, but I think Inside is just a fantastic looking game, so definitely give that a shout. Interested to see what Playdead does next, because I feel like we haven't heard from them in quite a while. I know they're working on a new game, but yeah, I don't know what the status of that is, but Inside and Limbo, obviously both quality pickups. If you've never played either of the games, Limbo's $2.49, Inside is $4.99, but there is a bundle for both for $6.99, so you can check that out as well. Just know what you're getting yourself into, more like atmospheric, puzzle-oriented platformers that are, you know, a bit on the darker side, so yeah. Games that I think everybody should at least play once. Lastly, I do want to give a shout to SteamWorld Dig 2. It is $4 for Plus subscribers. It is above $5 for non-Plus subscribers at $6. SteamWorld Dig 2 was a game that I was shocked at how much, first of all, how well it was received by the critics, and then how much I ended up enjoying it. Awesome Metroidvania with a great art style, and it was a game that I think IGN gave it a 10 out of 10. I saw a lot of outlets giving it a 10 out of 10. It has an 85 on Metacritic, but a strong Metroidvania title that unfortunately doesn't, like, this is just the reality with a lot of these Metroidvanias. You got some that really resonate, and then you got others that are quality titles, like a SteamWorld Dig 2, like a Guacamelee, that they just don't get as much attention, but they're still fantastic games, and I think SteamWorld Dig 2 deserves a lot more love. Has some unique mechanics as well, and again, if you like exploration Metroidvanias, you're gonna like this one quite a bit. I know a lot of people that picked up this game on Switch, so maybe it just doesn't get as much buzz on PlayStation and PC or whatnot, but I do not, like, everybody I know that picked up SteamWorld Dig 2 bought it on Switch, so maybe it did really well on Switch. I don't know, but definitely for this price, it's well worth it. But that is gonna do it for me. Again, a lot of great deals right now. That MGS5 deal is stellar for the two of you that don't own it. Dragon Age Inquisition, Dragon's Crown Pro for $4. Those Castlevania games, that's a good collection as well for $4. But that's going to do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.